So if you didn't see the previous post, then you could go and watch that one. But here's a recap anyway. So here we are going up near the top of Green Mountain. It's got very dense vegetation up here. It's tropical rainforest. And here's the reason. This is the structure that Darwin created between 1836 and 1850. Huge area, the size of several football pitches. And here we can see some wildlife traversing that, and those creatures are going to leave their feces all over this surface, which are going to end up in this well. And here we are at the valley at the bottom, and this is the well where the water's collected. You can see it's in quite a state of disrepair, but it still functions. Originally, the water would have been pumped out of here using a windmill, but of course that's an electric pump now, and that pushes the water up to these two relatively new, huge storage tanks. They're about 100,000 litres or more between the two of them. And the water from these tanks is then gravity fed down into this pump house. And the water comes into here and ends up in this 2,000 litre storage tank. From there, it then ends up going through this cast iron pipe, which is about 170 years old now, runs downhill. And the problem with this pipe is that the sections of it, individual sections, are joined and sealed with lead. Anyway, the water ends up at these shade houses where they grow fruit and vegetables. And but it would originally have carried on down to Georgetown at sea level, where there was a population of about 230 people. And they can see they used something very similar to a Berkey. This was the predecessor to the Berkey, designed by Louis Pasteur. Anyway, the water carries on down through this cast iron pipe. And the problem with the cast iron is it's joined, individual sections are joined and sealed with lead, which leaches into the water. And the cast iron pipe is also subject to a process called tuberculation, which basically acts as a trap to more bacteria. And there's plenty of bacteria from the well. So by the time it arrives here at the residency, which is the official residence of the head of the Ascension Island government, the water is, well, it's full of bacteria. It's got lead, manganese, a lot of iron in the water. And of course, the bacterial load is incredibly high. So our job was to make sure that the water was free of all of these contaminants, not only here at the residency, but also further up at the shade houses. Because if you water vegetables and plants with contaminated water, especially water with a high lead content, and that's going to make it through into the fruit and vegetables. So quite a challenge for us. And in the next post, we'll show you exactly what we built.